Hello there. Welcome back to Gryphonshale. My name is Rhonda, and this video is going to be about making some simple tags using these gel prints here for backgrounds and some foam stamps from PM Artist Studio. These are 3 separate stamps that I designed and they produce and sell. We have the Love Potion number 9, the Ornate 8, and the Royal 13. I'll put the link to these stamps down below in the description area, and you can go and take a look at these as well as all the other designs they have. I'm going to start with some embossing, but I'm not going to have you sit through embossing because I think most everybody knows how to do that. And these are the different ones I've done, mostly in black and gold, using different prints. And then I glued them onto I think it was 22-point chipboard to make them a little sturdier. And these are what's left of the 2 prints I've used so far. The sort of background mottled brown and black kind of print. And then I used the Tangled Heart stencil by Estella to make this pink and copper kind of rose gold print, which is really pretty. And when I did the tags, I didn't measure or anything. I just cut scrap pieces, and then I used the black, a gold, and a Lindy's. I forget what the name of it is. I'll put that down below too. Kind of a pinkish color. I'm not sure I used the Lindy's in this group. I think it was just the black and gold. Anyway, here's the gold I used on the pink background, and I like how the metallic print really shows up depending on how you see it in the light. And I did a couple sets of these on the black and brown background print that I had. I just love the way they look. They're so delicate looking, but bold enough to stand out on their own. And I really like that. So I did a couple sets of these to play with. And I'm going to do some shading on these with a little bit of Inktense pencil. And here's a couple of ones I did on just some grungy prints I had laying around. This was a mix of gold and silver. You know, I put a little silver on and tapped the excess off and then put a little gold on and did that. And this one is a really darker print, but I just love the way it looks. And to make the key stand out, I went in with some gold acrylic paint and a little brush and watered it down just a little bit and painted it into the key design to make it stand out a little more. And then this one is a dark print. I believe it's bronze, and it looks very dark in one direction, and then when you turn it in the light, the metallic really pops out, and so that looks kind of cool. So these were just, as I said, to kind of play around with. I think I'll start with I believe it's charcoal gray and saddle brown Inktense pencils. These are my 2 favorite colors for doing shading, either on the edge of embellishments or in this case, around the edge of the key. And I'll zoom in a little bit, even though it's a little fuzzy, you can see better. Although I'm sure everybody knows how to color. I mean, that's certainly nothing new. But anyways, give you something to watch. And I like going around the edge lightly and then building up color at the very inside points where it would be a little darker. And then after that, I will add some water and kind of mush it around in the Inktense pencil, which is how I use them. I'm sure there's other ways to use them, but this is how I do it. And it becomes almost a watercolor consistency. And then I dab off a little bit of the excess. And I find that if I get too much, I can go back in with a little bit of water if you do it soon enough and it hasn't dried too much. And you can blot off a little bit of the excess. And I've noticed that with these Inktense pencils, they do dry lighter than what you see as you're working, as a lot of things do. So you can always go back and add more. If I find it's too dark, like I said, I will blot some out and let it dry. And then if I want to go back in, I can. Just depends on the look that you want. I also like doing it with the brown, which I'm going to do in a few minutes here. But until then, I will go ahead and show you the comparison between something that's had this shadow added and one that doesn't. Just depends on your personal preference. I like doing this. I think it adds some dimension. This one might be a little on the dark side, but it will dry lighter. And I like the look that it gives. I've gone back in with my paintbrush and added some more water to smooth this out, make it a little bit lighter. I just think it was, a tad dark. We'll see how it is when it dries. And that was the charcoal gray. Now I'm going to try the saddle brown on another one, not the dark one, on a lighter one. And I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch that in real time as we go through coloring this one in. And we'll be back in a moment. And here's the two comparisons of the brown and the black. They both look great in my opinion. One is a little more subtle than the other, but both look really good. I like the shadowing that it gives. And so I've trimmed these down just with a ruler and a pencil and kind of cut them into these rectangular shapes. And I'm going to trim the corners with the corner rounder. And then I'm going to go around the edges with some Distress Oxide ink. And now that these are all inked up and ready to go, time to put some holes in the top. When I stamped and cut them out, I planned to leave a little extra room at the top to give some space to punch the little hole in. I'm using the smaller hole on the crocodile. If you need a bigger one, you might want to leave yourself a little extra space. And again, I didn't measure these. They're not exact of any measurement. I just eyeballed it into the shape that I thought looked good. I know I wanted thin and rectangular. Sorry for the camera shake. The crocodile makes my table wiggle a bit. Then I did some simple embellishments you've all seen 100 times before with eyelets, some jump rings, and I even tried some fancy pants beading, which was new for me, but it worked out well. And then this is my very nerdy newbie slow motion tag drop. You know, I just had to. I wanted to try it and see how it would look. And now that that's out of my system, we'll be moving on. So I spent the afternoon finishing up my tags, and now it's the next day, and I love them. I just want to hold them and pet them and look at them. Let's see, I used some dyed sari ribbon in the tops of these, just a very basic tie-on ribbon, which is nice. And then this one has sari ribbon plus some kind of fancy yarn that I had. Put it through the eyelet, and then it has a little jump ring on top. And I think this one is really nice. And then the 3 pink ones, which are a little more girly and more muted colors to them, more pastel. I think those would be really pretty in a journal. Maybe even a pink Christmas journal they would work good in. These just have some fabric scraps tied at the top. And then the more grungy one, again, just more ribbon. I outlined some of these with black, and I outlined like this one done in gold, front and back, and then around the little hole at the top. And it may be simple, but it's effective, and I think it looks good. And then these are my fancy pants beaded one with little jump rings at the top. And then I used those, I don't know what they're called, some sort of long eye pin or something. And I strung the beads on and then put a little bulb pin at the top so I could attach it to a journal or something. And I'm very happy with how everything turned out. So thank you for stopping by and giving a watch. Please remember to leave a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it very much. And until next time, we'll see you later.